Happy Monday!
Yay, first day back to term and routine for us.
Yes, and I think it's one of those things, we always have this sort of thing with Aoife May where we're like, she's quite full on, very, very like hyperactive. We don't get to put our feet up for 2 minutes. And we almost not look forward to going back to nursery. We're like, oh, when does she go back to nursery? And then when she goes back to nursery, we miss her so much. So, I think that's what we're going through now, isn't it? A mixture of emotions.
And also for us, it's kind of like back to routine because we work from home. There's always good points, and there's also perhaps points where it doesn't always work in our favour because then we can get distracted. It's difficult to work when you've got a hyper 3-year-old around the house. So it's good for us to kind of feel like we're back to routine, we're back doing our work, and routine always wins the way.
Yeah, because we don't have any off switch, and that's sort of what we wanted to touch on today. Because what we wanted to first of all get off the thing that we've noticed is there's a direct correlation in the results that people see versus the amount of planning they do towards their day, their goal, their lifestyle, their week, in terms of like having a plan. And it doesn't have to be a set in stone plan, but it's having an idea of what they're going to do, and there's a huge correlation in that. And
there's always that saying that like a goal is just a wish without a plan. I've probably said that totally wrong, but basically a dream is just a wish.
Yeah,
I've totally just ruined it. Anyway, basically, if there's something that you want to be achieving, whether it's work related, health related, even holiday related, there's a dream holiday you want to do, unless you're setting a plan in your mind of what it is that you kind of how you can get there, it's kind of the likelihood of you kind of achieving it is probably very slim. And like Ryan said, it doesn't have to be set in stone. It's just a rough sort of guide to kind of how you're going to get to it. It's like if I can say to you, if you could be a little bit happier, what would it be that you would need to see, feel, hear, touch? You know, it's just about having an idea of what it is that you need to do to achieve it.
Yeah, and it's like we always say to our clients is like, look, 5 to 10 minutes on a Sunday is going to change a whole week. And like I can't stress to people enough how important it is, because just to have that 5 minutes that says to yourself, I'm going to start my week in a position of control. I'm going to start my week in a position of power, and I'm not going to feel stressed. Whereas a lot of people that we speak to and we see this is like, you look down your news feeds at people who are flustered, they're stressed, they're playing catch up already, and it's like 8:30 on a Monday morning and the week's already started in a state of stress. And if you're somebody trying to lose weight and your body is in a state of stress, that weight loss is going to be so difficult. We go on about the calories in, these calories out, but stress is evil to the body. So if you're struggling with stress, you are going to struggle to lose weight. So for us, it's making sure that you just get some form of plan. It doesn't have to be like, right, at 8 o'clock I'm going to do this, 8:15 I'm going to do this, 8:30 I'm going to do this. It's just like, do you know what, on Monday I'm going to do X, Y and Z. Tuesday I'm going to do X, Y and Z. Like we've now started in our client only group is like daily accountability. So we post in the morning, we tag the people who want it, not everybody wants it. We tag those who opt in for it to commit to 3 things. It doesn't have to be huge things.
Morning,
Ali. You're watching. Yes, Ali's normally probably out working by now. So Ali's part of our client only group, and she does the daily accountability where we'll say 3 little things. It doesn't have to be big, just 3 things that you commit to that day.
And these 3 things can just be anything like to help you towards the day, to kind of help you feel productive. Because like Ryan said, if you're going into the day and you're feeling flustered, you might feel overwhelmed and you actually don't know what you need to do to tackle to kind of get things done. So simply by writing 3 things that are going to help you, even if it's to do around the house, with work, if it's to do with exercise or to do with health, it's whatever. It's 3 things that are going to kind of perhaps take some stress away from your life. Because like Ryan said, if you've got the stressful feeling in your body's not going to be able to react how we want it to. You're probably not going to see the results that perhaps you're working really hard for. So simple 3 things, and then by the end of the night you have someone to ask you, did you do your 3 things? Or go into your diary, did you do your 3 things? You can tick that off, and I tell you, that sense of achievement knowing that you've done those 3 things is amazing, and it takes you into the next day, Tuesday, and you're already feeling like positive because you think, yeah, I smashed Monday, I did the 3 things. It doesn't have to be like crazy things. It's just like I said, keep it simple is the best way. Simple over anything.
Yeah, and that's what we always say to people, like, we might not be the most exciting people in the world because the simple stuff is the stuff that always going to work. And it's like he says, loves your accountability, makes you think and focus, because like Ellie's just said there is, there's nothing better than having a sense of achievement that you've done 3 things, no matter how simple they were. And it's like, if you go back at the end of tonight, if you haven't planned anything today, the morning's run away with you, the kids took ages to get ready, you sat in traffic, it's rained, whatever, all these things that you just sort of find yourself chasing your tail already. By the end of the evening, you're not going to be able to sit there and say, do you know what, I did achieve this, because you won't have any perspective. You'll forget, you won't be looking at the bigger picture. Whereas if you've set 3 things that say, do you know what, if today ends up an absolute nightmare, but I do these 3 things, it's been a successful day, that sense of achievement is going to change your mindset, change your mood, change your attitude towards tomorrow and the week as a whole immediately, because you've done 3 things that you'd set out, and that's all you have to do.
And I think us as human beings, it's so easy to kind of get hold of things that went wrong for the day, and kind of, if work perhaps wasn't the best way, someone spoke not very nice to you, it's easy to hold on to that and forget about things that you've actually achieved. And that's why kind of writing things down, at the end of the day, you've had a bad day, work related, whatever, but you still stuck to the 3 things that you wanted to achieve, then it then puts life into perspective that perhaps that day wasn't so bad. And then you go into the day with a clearer head, you're probably going to be able to sleep better than you would be just by holding on to one thing that perhaps didn't go the way that you wanted it to go.
Yes, you can see how simple it is. You can see how passionate we are about trying to have some form of plan. And we say this, do this in all areas of your life. Again, we're not just about the health and fitness side, but plan things. You know, we have our clients are planning special time with their family members, with their children, but, you know, plan these sort of things, because with the world just does pass us by, life just does pass us by, and if we don't take the time to put these things in place and say to ourselves, by the end of the week, I'm going to spend, I don't know, an hour with my child undistracted, without social media, without TV, and we're just going to have good quality time. It might not sound like a lot, and you think that you're doing it now. You're probably not. Trust me, I'm somebody who thinks by being in the presence of Aoife May and Ellie that I am being present, and I know I need to do it. And this is me now saying I'm going to do this plan this week. I'm going to make sure that I spend less time distracted by my phone, or spend less time thinking about social media or work. I'm going to make sure I take time out to do that, because that's important, you know, and that's really valuable. So spend time to plan other areas as well. It doesn't just have to be nutrition or training and things like that.
I think it's very easy to kind of now plod along in life and accept that perhaps where we are, even if we're not happy, but because perhaps your work life is stressful, chaotic, very busy, that it kind of we just accept that this is just life, we'll just go on and on and on. And what's happening is that we're not getting any happier, we're getting more stressed, we're getting perhaps more depressed, we're suffering from more anxieties, and you can just see how it's going as human beings. I see it when we speak to clients, when we speak to potential clients. This is society that we live in, but it's not okay to accept it. And this is just a simple way, it's not drastic, but it's just a simple way to perhaps kind of just change how you're going right now, change how you're going in life, kind of make time for yourself, make time for your family, make time for just perhaps not procrastinating and getting the little jobs, or either it's around the house or in work, to just get it done.
Yeah, and we will try and finish it off. It's just one more thing is, like, you'll get me when I was here, but I'm so busy, what if I don't do what I planned? And that is totally cool. Life happens. We often say, like, shit does happen. You can't control everything. But if you've put a plan in place, you are more likely to do the things that you wanted to do. There are always going to be exceptions. We don't always do what we set out to do. Sometimes life gets in the way. That's totally cool. Don't put pressure on yourself with it. But by you putting a plan, whether it be mentally, whether it be written down, whether it be telling someone else, you will be so much more committed to doing it than if you don't plan and you just think, I'll plod along and see if I get things done.
And just on that note, and if you notice that perhaps there's a particular one thing that you kind of don't achieve each day, then that could be an area that perhaps just needs a little bit of focus, to kind of make it a little bit more easier for yourself and build it up to kind of getting to that the step that you want to be, but break it down. It doesn't have to be crazy, okay? But if there's one area that you're noticing that you're not doing, then this is like, it could be awareness for you to perhaps give it a little bit more focus.
Yes, like Ali's saying there, you know, it does. Life does happen, and you just have to almost roll with the punches and not beat yourself up if you don't get everything done. That's life, and I think we're huge advocates of that, and always doing something is better than nothing, whether it be a huge step or a small step.
One thing is better than doing nothing. So even if you just have a plan of one thing, that's still better than perhaps what you were doing last week if you never had a plan.
Yes. Okay, so that's what we've got for today. We will be back on Wednesday, 8:30. As we say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be on this business page now. We know we used to do them on my page, but what we find we're better doing it on this, so we can attract more people, help more people via that. So please, if you're watching them, let us know your thoughts. If you've got questions, let us know, because we want to try and make these video topics as useful as possible, and this is something we find a lot of people struggling with.
So happy Monday, have a great productive day, and remember, if life gets in the way, that's life. Wipe the slate clean and start again tomorrow.
See ya.